You're listening to Off Script with Tiffany. This is real talk, random thoughts, and no script. Thanks for listening. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Off Script with Tiffany, where I share my random thoughts. We have real talk, all with no script. This is just something that I come with off my dome, and I write down a couple of bullet points, and that's the podcast. So I am your host, Tiffany. Thank you guys for joining me for episode 10 of my podcast that I started back in December, randomly one day, because this was something I've always wanted to do, and I finally decided to just stop being scared and just press record. So if you have been a listener before, if you're a previous listener, welcome back. If you are new, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you will enjoy yourself. So kick back, relax, and just listen to me yap. So y'all, today, I always say this is gonna be a quick episode, but I think this one's going to be a little bit quicker. Just a few things I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about that have just been going on for me. So first things first, the mayhem of May. So for those who don't know, my day job is I work in education. And if you work in education, or if you know somebody who works in education, you know, teachers, you know, paras, like staff, whatever, you know, May is probably one of the craziest months of the year between, you know, finishing up state testing. You have all of the end of the year stuff that you have to complete. You may have like field day and field trips and award ceremonies and all of that type of thing, not to mention wrapping up the end of the year with meetings and all of those things. Y'all, it has been absolutely nuts. And on top of that, I am transferring schools. So I won't even be at the same school next year. So I'm having to tie up all the loose ends of my current school while starting to get ready for my new school. So it has been absolutely crazy work-wise. And on top of that, of course, May is the month that I literally traveled, I think almost every weekend this month, minus Mother's Day. So the first weekend in May, I went to Philly for a family reunion with my boyfriend. We had a great time. That was my first time in Philly. I'm a little sad I didn't get to try a cheesesteak, but next time I go, I'll get one. That was really cool because it was my first time. So that was a new city. So that kind of got checked off my bingo card. So if you've been following me and my 2025 goals, my goal is to visit a new city. So I think this is the second new city that I visited this year, because I went to St. Augustine in January, and so Philly makes like the second new city. So I'd already checked it off, but like a double check there. So that was really fun. Last episode, I gave you guys the breakdown of going to see Beyonce. So I went to Chicago the 2 weeks after Philly. So it was Philly, then Mother's Day. So I stayed in town here in Atlanta. Then I went to Chicago, where I had to fight a dust storm and a tornado to see Beyonce, but it was worth it. And I'd do it again. So I went there, and then the following weekend, which was last weekend, I was in Savannah for Memorial Day, and just had a great time. That's like my home away from home. That's where my boyfriend lives. So we were hanging out. We had some friends come in town. So a good time was had by all. We went to see wrestling live. We went to SmackDown. They were in Savannah last Friday, so we got to go there for his birthday, because his birthday is actually tomorrow, the 30th, but that was his early birthday gift. And so we got to go there. His friends came to town. Our friends came to town, and so we got to spend some time together there. And we just had a really, really great time and just got to relax and chill. And y'all, I know May is a lot because on Sunday night, like Sunday to Monday, y'all, I slept for like 14 hours straight, because it was at the end of the school year, coming down from everything, like kind of getting the stress off of you and just resting. And I really haven't been able to rest for a really long time, because again, there's just been a lot going on. And so having that time, and y'all, I slept 14 hours straight. Like, I think I might have woke up maybe 12 hours into the nap or sleeping, and then went back to sleep for another 2 hours. So it was really great to just kind of rest, recharge, relax as I'm getting ready to go into the summer, where I will be working at a summer camp on a college campus down here in Atlanta. So I'm really excited about that. So it has just been a lot. Again, it's May mayhem. That's the only way I can describe it. Literally up until today, which was actually my last day at my school. And y'all, it was a day. So today was the last day that I will be at the school that I worked at or previously worked at, because my last contract day is Monday and tomorrow I'm going to a professional development. So, and Monday I'm just taking off because who ends the school year on a Monday? So I'm not going. So I'm taking a sick day. And so today was my last day in the building. So I had to like turn in my keys and kind of make sure the last things were done, make sure I left nothing behind. I've already moved my things into my new office. So I'm excited about that. We did that yesterday on Wednesday. And so today, my assistant principal took me to lunch. Myself and my coworker, my teammate, because we are actually both leaving this year from our school and our department. So we're the entire department and we're leaving. We're going to different schools. And so we went to lunch today. And when I tell you I feel like I've been having these stories lately. It was extremely awkward. It was disappointing. It was surprising, to be completely honest. And this is, my platform. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. So I had an idea, like kind of based on how things had been going this year. My AP was over our department, but she was really new and she had a lot on her plate. So she was not the most, like attentive to our needs or the most supportive. We were often like forgotten about, or we felt forgotten about. So, but we operated in giving her grace due to, again, the role, new school, just a lot on her plate. So just trying to give grace where it's needed or where we thought it was needed. So when she asked us today if we want to go to lunch, we were like, yeah, sure. Cause we really have anything else to do. So we go to lunch and, just kind of making conversation. She was kind of sharing like things in our lives that she didn't know about us. Like she didn't know that my boyfriend lives in Savannah, or like, things like that. So things like that, if you had kind of built a relationship with your people, you would kind of know these things, because I'm literally always talking about going to Savannah because I'm always in Savannah. But anyway, so things like that. So anyway, so we're kind of talking about personal things, and like my teammate kind of was talking about some things. Like I asked a question and that led into like this like awkward conversation. And then so my AP went to the restroom and I was like, this is kind of awkward. And my teammate was like, yeah, it is. So we were kind of on the same vibe. And I will say she and I, my teammate and I, we get along really well. Like we've been working together for the last 2 years, and like I'm going to miss working with this girl because like she gets it. And like we were both like, we have the same vibe, but this is like a really awkward conversation. So anyway, so our boss comes back and she then kind of starts giving like advice, sort of, kind of going into our new school. So she asked about like, well, what are we going to do to kind of build a positive relationship and kind of getting to know our new bosses, from like before day one. And we're like, so for me, I will say I'm already learning my new boss, or my new principal is very different from my current or my most recent previous, because he's actually already reached out and was like, hey, I meet with everybody, all my new hires, and I don't want to talk work. I want to talk you as a person. I want to get to know you. Like, what are your goals? What are what are your things? So he and I already have like time on the calendar to like meet up and talk. So that's really great. And I really appreciate that, coming from a school where I felt that lacked that culture and that community. It's really great to see the leader taking initiative and being like, hey, I want to get to know you. Like, let's put some time on a calendar. Like, this is protected time for us to like get to know you outside of like your work, outside of the work, because the work is going to be a lot. The work is the work, but I want to know you as a person. And so I appreciate that as somebody who really treasures community and culture and things like that. Yeah, I appreciate that. So I was kind of sharing that with, my supervisor who took us to lunch. And so then she turns to my partner and my teammate and is like, well, like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you doing to ensure that you kind of have like a positive, like, community culture building, like, session? And she hadn't thought about it, which I don't blame her. Like, first of all, we're still wrapping up the year, but like, it's kind of a out of nowhere question. So it was weird. And so my teammate was like, well, no. So my boss was like, well, you can like invite your principal to coffee and, ask these questions and ask them, what do you expect outside of the job description? And just kind of all of these like types of questions to kind of, it definitely gave the vibe of basically you need to do these things because you didn't do them correct here. You know what I mean? Kind of to, for lack of a better word, like fix the mistakes you made here at your new place. Like, don't like let history repeat itself. And honestly, that was the vibe both of us got. We both got the vibe of like we had done things wrong, and the reason we were treated the way we were treated and the reason we had the experiences that we had was it was because of us. Like, it was all on us. So her like professional advice was like, in a way, kind of telling us we were wrong. And that was the vibe both of us got. So anyway, so again, very awkward conversation. She then, mentioned about, she asked us how long we'd been at the school. We were like 2 years, like, but she just didn't remember. And then she told us basically like, if we leave another school after 2 years, then professionally, it's going to look as if we're the problem. What? So she was like, just kind of be mindful and like trying to be like, so basically have the conversations with our future bosses so that we're not leaving after 2 years. Because if you leave another school, or if we kind of have a history of leaving a school after like 2 years, then that shows that you're the problem and not the school. And that was really interesting. So I made sure I spoke up in the conversation and let it be known, this is the only school I've left after 2 years. I've been in my position for 12 years. I was one school for 4, the next school for 6, this school for 2. So looking at my resume, y'all are the problem. So yeah, it was just a very awkward conversation. Couldn't wait for it to end fast enough. Glad it was over. It honestly it was a bad ending to a tough year. Especially, and for me, it was disheartening because it was somebody that I looked to as I wanted to look to in sort of a mentor role, which, if I'm being completely honest, and this is, y'all are my people, y'all are my family, I didn't receive that. And again, we were kind of forgotten about, just being completely transparent. And like, you were too busy to pay us attention. You saw what was going on. We didn't feel supported. We didn't feel like we had somebody that really spoke up for us and defended us. Were we perfect? No. Were there things we probably could have done differently? Absolutely. But it's really hard to want to give your all and do your best and go above and beyond when you feel like you're constantly being dumped on and you don't have anybody to support you. And we realized today our last supporter was the AP that left after our first year. And we were like, wow, we were really like out here by ourselves. So it was kind of disheartening. And again, a sad way to kind of end this journey professionally. But lesson learned. I see you. And I'm ready to move on. I'm excited for the next chapter. So like I said, I have technically 2 more days, but I'm taking Monday off. So tomorrow is my last contracted day and I'll be at a PD off campus. So yay. So there's that. So that's kind of the bow on my Mayhem. So again, excited for the summer, excited for what's coming next, excited for next school year, excited for the new journey. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick little update on the Mayhem. So this brings us into the next thing I want to kind of yap about, and that is my summer goal. So again, for those who are returning listeners, you guys know that I have my bingo card, and those are my 25 goals for the year. I made a 5x5 bingo card to kind of just gamify and mark off the things that I've accomplished. So since the last episode, I have not accomplished anything yet. But for this summer, I really want to work on those goals. So, like take a new fitness class, try a new fitness class. I want to look at trying more restaurants. I want to also look at a certification, because those are three things that I think with this time off and even working a summer program with having kind of more flexibility in my schedule, I can get those things accomplished. So I can come to you guys in the next few episodes and kind of, celebrate my marking offs of goals. And then my other big plans for summer 2025 are to really, really work on my business. So outside of working in education and being a content creator, I am an ADHD and executive function coach. So I work with teens, young adults, and professionals on just developing their executive function skills and helping them just navigate skill building while, being neurodivergent, And so I am creating a summer curriculum workshop. And so far, nobody's really signed up for it. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of pivot and go from like a live workshop to like creating like modules and just kind of packaging that and then selling it where people can just have access to the class or the platform. So I'm really excited about building that out. And so, yeah, this summer it's going to be busy, but it's going to be fun. And I need to figure out what I'm going to do for vacation, because between the summer program and starting my new school, I will have exactly 14 days off of no alarms, no getting up, no nothing. So I have to figure out where I want to go, what I want to do, and get that together. So I have no idea, y'all. I'm a beach girl. I love being by the water. I think that is one of my happy places. But the boyfriend don't like the beach. He don't like the sand. So I'm like, ugh. So trying to find a happy medium. I don't know, but we're gonna go somewhere. I gotta do something. I need a tan. I need a beach. I need sand. I need water. I need all the things because your girl is tired. I need something. So hopefully next week I can narrow down what I'm doing so that I can go ahead and pay for it and just have it booked so I can be ready. Come July, we are on vacation mode. So I'm really excited about that. Happy New Year! It's time to talk about something we all strive for at the start of our year, getting organized. If that's a goal for you, I've got the perfect resource. My new ebook, New Year, New You. 7 tips to get you organized in the new year. This ebook gives you 7 actionable tips to help you organize your time, your space, and your goals for the year ahead. No matter where you're starting from, these strategies are designed to help you gain clarity and focus. I created this ebook because, let's be real, getting organized isn't always easy, especially with everything life throws at us. But with the right steps, it's totally doable. These are the exact strategies that I've used and taught to others, and they work. Ready to get started? Head to the link in the description and grab your copy of New Year, New You. Let's make this the year you finally feel in control and on top of your game. So we are trucking along. I told you guys this is going to be a quick episode. So now this is one of my new favorite segments. I love to read to you guys the AITA, am I the a-hole situations, and kind of give my feedback. So I found one for us today. It says, am I the a-hole for celebrating my birthday without my friends after they rescheduled around babysitters again? I've 26 female, have been part of this friend group since college. We're close and consistently hang out and have friend game nights. The kicker, I'm the only person in the group without kids. Everyone else is busy raising toddlers and infants. While it seems fair that they've been putting on more and more, quote, adult-only events, fancy dinners, wine tasting, and events, great, right? No. The adults-only events are literally during the times I'm working my restaurant shifts, so evenings and weekends because there are the times their babysitters are available. I've expressed multiple times that it would be great to have some daytime events or meet during the week to do things since my schedule is very flexible during the day. They always say, quote, "Oh, we'll try that for the next time," quote, but it never happens. Last month was the last straw. My birthday fell on a Sunday, and I asked them if we could do a celebration during the day since I was working that night, and they agreed. Then the day before my celebration, the group chat exploded that they were actually now changing it to evening because, quote, "Sarah's babysitter canceled, but can do 7 p.m. instead." I was so done at that point. I made my own plans for my birthday with my coworkers who were able to show up and post pictures on social media, having the best time at brunch and escaping an escape room. Now, my original friend group is hurt that I quote, "didn't even tell them," quote, "we changed the plans." They are now calling me petty and that I should understand that finding childcare is hard, but I'm over being the only one who's expected to accommodate everyone else 100% of the time. But I think my job counts as an adult responsibility too, and I shouldn't have to miss my own birthday for their babysitter problems. Am I the a-hole here? I feel like this is a similar one to the one we read last time. It has to do with like kids and not having kids. That's always an interesting dynamic. So for those who don't know, I am a mom. I'm a single mom to an almost 16-year-old. But reading this, you are absolutely not the a-hole. So it might be unpopular, it might be surprising that I agree with the poster on the person who posted this, because friendships are about compromise and give and take. And it sounds like the person who posted this is always the one having to compromise because your friends have kids. And I get it. Yes, it is hard to find childcare. It is hard to find a babysitter that can always meet your needs. But I absolutely do not feel that she should have to change her birthday plans to accommodate those with kids. Number one, it's her birthday. So if she's made brunch plans, then it's her birthday. She's the birthday girl. And number two, if you are a true friend and like you've expressed this to your friends, you would hope that they understand that, hey, this is an issue. We need to be a little more flexible. So it is really hard when you're the only one in the friendship doing all the bending and being flexible, because eventually you break. And it sounds like she got to her breaking point, and I do not 100% blame her. I am so glad that she was able to connect with people who could make themselves available to her, and so she could enjoy her birthday. So I think it's great. And it's kind of weird because from the situation, it looks like only one person wasn't going to be able to make it. So I feel like that person should have sat out on the birthday and everybody else should have continued with the plans because y'all had babysitters. Or why couldn't their babysitter like take 2 kids? You know what I mean? So it's like something to think about. So I think there are a bunch of different solutions that could have happened here where the friend should have been more understanding to the friend whose birthday it was. So I absolutely do not believe you are the a-hole. Please comments, let me know what y'all think. Do you think the person is the a-hole for not wanting to rearrange her birthday because her friends didn't have a babysitter? Let me know. All right, you guys. So I told you this one was a quick one. So that is actually it. But before we head out, I do have an announcement. I meant to tell you guys this earlier that we had an announcement at the end of the show. So for those who have been listening, have been loyal, again, thank you so much. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the interactions with you guys. But we're going to go through a little bit of changes. I feel like my life right now is a season of change, and that includes with this amazing podcast. So our podcast is going to go through a little rebrand. So moving forward, instead of being called Off Script with Tiffany, this podcast has a new name, and it is the Shy Yapper Podcast. Woo! So I am rebranding Off Script with Tiffany to the Shy Yapper podcast because that is something a term I've kind of coined myself on my other social media platforms, like on my TikTok and things like that. When I get on there, I'm always telling people, I'm kind of shy. I like to yap, but I'm shy. It takes me a while to get comfortable. So we are rebranding so that we are kind of consistent across the board. We are going to be the Shy Yapper podcast. So I'm really excited about that. And my fans, my followers, my community, we're going to be called the Shy Yapper Society. Yes. So this is where all my shy people, my introverts, my people who just, don't like to step out of their comfort zone. This is your safe space. Okay. So I'm really excited. So moving forward, if you don't see the Off Script with Tiffany, if you see Shy Yapper podcast, that is me. So I'm really excited for the rebrand. So I'll be doing that this summer as we move forward. So this is Off Script with Tiffany / Shy Yapper podcast episode 10. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So yes, the Shy Yapper podcast and the Shy Yapper Society. So I'm really excited. So that is it, you guys. That is episode 10. Again, I told you guys this one would be kind of quick. But I am so grateful for you all. Thank you again for listening. If you are new here, thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. For those who are my repeat watchers, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. Check me out on the next episode. Follow me on socials. I'll have everything linked in the description. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, great week, great weekend. And we will catch you guys on the next episode, our first full episode of the Shy Yapper podcast. And I'll see you guys later. Thank you for listening to the Shy Yapper podcast, the calm before the overshare. I've been your host, Tiffany Hudson. Make sure you follow us on social media and join the Shy Yapper Society. See you next time.